Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today I'm going to talk about the books that I hope to read for November. I'm so excited. I just scratched my chin. I have been building this pile for a while. I have a December pile started. I have not started a pile for January, but I like to think about books in advance, and this is the room where I work out, so I'm often looking at my books as I'm working out, and so books will just jump off the shelves at me. So here we go. I'm gonna start as usual with, well, let me back up. November is Nonfiction November. And if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know I don't read a ton of nonfiction. So for the last few years, I've stacked my November TBR with a bunch of nonfiction, and I might get to a couple of them. I'm always hopeful though. I'm always hopeful. This year again is Nonfiction November, which is a month-long reading initiative, I think she calls it. Olive from a book. Olive is the main host. There are a few others. I will link her channel down below in her announcement video. It lasts all month long. The goal is to pick up a little bit more nonfiction than you normally read. So for me, if I pick up one or two, I'm doing pretty good. It reminds me of Middle Grade March, the same idea. Like, you don't have to follow the prompts if you don't want to. You don't have to read only nonfiction unless you want to, but it's always a good motivator for me to pick up some nonfiction, knowing that so many other people are also reading nonfiction this month. There are 4 prompts, and I love how every year they just do a 1-word prompt, so you can kind of make it fit however you want to. I am gonna fulfill all 4 of those prompts. They are time, movement, buzz, and discovery. So as I talk about my TBR, I'll let you know which one I think fits which prompt. But I'm going to start as usual with the 2 books that I've chosen for my Goodreads read-along for the month of November. And I did choose 2 nonfiction. These might be the only 2 I get to, we'll see. But I have been choosing 2 books instead of 1, just with the pandemic and sometimes books being a little bit harder to get your hands on. I'm hoping that people will join in. You will join in with one or both of these reads. So the first one is a book by Bill Bryson called A Walk in the Woods. This does obviously fit the prompt for movement. A walk in the woods. We're moving, we're going to the woods. Bill Bryson is also one of the authors that I was hoping to read this year, so yay for that. That will help me reach one of those goals that I had at the beginning of the year. But I've heard such good things about Bill Bryson and his writing, and that he has a little bit of humor in there. I may try to listen to this on audio as I go for walks. That might be a cool way to listen to it. I probably won't go for walks in the woods because it just gets dark too soon and all that jazz, but I am really excited to read a Bill Bryson finally, and hope that you'll join along for this one. The other book that I've chosen for our read-along in November is Being Mortal by Atul Gawande, and this is the book that I've chosen for the word time. Number 1, because mortality is like a part of time, it's a part of life, and because this might be the 3rd or 4th time that this book has been on a TBR and I still haven't read it. I have heard such good things about this, so much praise, and I'm really eager to read it. It really just talks about, I mean, the subtitle here is Illness, Medicine, and What Matters in the End. So it's just talking about life and mortality and how we deal with those things and aging, and I'm really excited to read this finally. So I hope you'll join in the Goodreads read-along for one of these 2 reads, or both of them. If they've been sitting on your shelves for a long time, like they have for me, join us. The nonfiction book that I've chosen for the word buzz is Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. This is a memoir of a family and culture in crisis, and I'm putting this for the prompt of buzz because there's going to be a lot of buzz about this book in November because Netflix is coming out with an adaptation that gets released in November. Yay! What a perfect time to read this. This also has been on quite a few of my TBRs in the past. I will be buddy reading this one with Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. It's been a while since we've buddy read, and I'm really excited to read this with her. And this one, it kind of gives me vibes of like The Glass Castle. It's like a family drama of living in a bit of poverty, but also kind of like Giver of the Stars. Like, I don't remember exactly where this one happens, but it's about a family in poverty and upward mobility and white poor Americans, and a story of one family, J.D. Vance and his family, in this situation, and like that desire to kind of break out from the mold and from your small town. And I don't know, I don't know that much about what's going to happen, but I'm really excited, and I did watch the trailer and the movie looks like it's going to be fantastic. Amy Adams and Glenn Close, I mean, come on. So good. So I'm really excited to read this with Sarah. and that fulfills another prompt for Nonfiction November. And the final prompt is discovery, and for that I'm picking up one of the books that I bought this year. As the focus for so many people has been anti-racism, and I want to discover areas in my life where I continue to need to grow and change. I picked up this book for that purpose. I'm Still Here, Black Dignity in a World Made for Whiteness by Austin Channing Brown. It's a short little one, and I'm hoping that that will help motivate me to still pick it up, even though I have quite a few nonfiction on this pile. But I think that this is going to be an important and really good read. I've heard good things about this one, so yeah, I'm adding that to my pile. I have two other buddy reads that I'm going to do this month. I read Emily of New Moon with Emily of Novelle Novels a couple months ago, and we are going to read book 2 in that series, which is Emily Climbs by Ella Montgomery. In the midst of all the nonfiction, I feel like an Ella Montgomery will be a perfect antidote for avoiding reading slumps. So I'm really excited to have the next book on the pile for that, and I'm excited to read this again with Emily of Novelle Novels. We really loved reading the first Emily book together, and she'll be in high school in this one. So I'm very, very excited to continue with her story. And then, y'all, I don't know what I'm thinking, but I am going for 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I've been rocking out with the chunkers though lately, I'm not gonna lie. This is a huge book. It is a retelling, reimagining of the assassination of JFK, which happened 11/22/63. And I feel like there's no other time I could pick this book up other than November. It is on my recommendations cart. Some of you have picked this for me to read this year, and so it's one that I've been wanting to get to. It's so highly rated on Goodreads. I am not a huge fan of Stephen King, but I've heard that this is very different from some of his horror, like really strange ones. It does have some time travel, which is awesome because I'm using this to fill my science fiction spot on the Fall Into Reading bingo board that I've been working on. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that. So I'm really excited to fill in that spot with this book. And I will be reading this with Rainy from Rainy Day Reads. It will help motivate me and keep me accountable because it is so big. I'm hoping to get the audio of this as well, just to help keep it moving. But I've heard such good things. I don't feel afraid of the story. I'm excited for the story, and I feel like I'm going to really enjoy it, but it's just massive. And I do have one final nonfiction that I am throwing into my pile for the month, and that is a book that was given to me last year in the Advent book exchange that I did with Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand and Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library. Lindsay gifted us both this one, Dear Fahrenheit 451, Love and Heartbreak in the Stacks, A Librarian's Love Letters and Breakup Notes to the Books in Her Life by Annie Spence. So this one I feel like I can read throughout the month. There are a bunch of just really short letters to different books that she's read in her life, such as Fahrenheit 451, hence the title, and the Miss Marple series by Agatha Christie, Time Traveler's Wife, Big Stone Gap, Misery, Frog and Toad's Storybook Treasury, just a whole bunch of Anna Karenina, Marley and Me, The Crucible, so many different, Matilda, The Hobbit, The Namesake, just so many different books and letters that she writes to them, I'm assuming, of how those books have impacted her life in different ways. So I feel like this is one I can kind of dip in and out of throughout the month. I'm really excited to give this one a go and read this during Nonfiction November. So while these won't be all the books that I read in November, these are the ones that I'm putting on my TBR. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do normally read quite a few more than that, but I also read nonfiction a lot slower than I read fiction, and this is a monster. So we'll see if I get through all these and what I add to this pile as the month goes on. So stay tuned. But I would love to chat with you down below. Have you read any of these? Are you joining in for the Goodreads read-along this month? And what do you think of them? Let's chat in the comments below. You guys know I love talking to you down there. And that is it for me today. So I'm going to sign off. I'll be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye.